Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Rumble Rebels, can you hear me? Rumble Rebels, can you hear me? Thank you, Sam Napier. Thank you.
T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes. T minus 4 minutes. T minus 3 minutes. T minus 2 minutes. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. I got it right. Got it right. Sorry about that. Thank you. Make sure I'm hearing a second audio, so let me come in and check. Take the audio off. There is nothing there. There. All right, there. All right. That's what I love about everybody. My moderators got me. My moderators got me. Oh, and a super chat already from Lisa Sereno. Okay. All right. Miss Lisa Sereno done showed me some love. Let me go back to the channel. Go on and there you go. Miss Lisa Sereno showing some brother love tonight, helping obtain a goal. All right. I apologize about the sound. But before I thank Mrs. Lisa Sereno, which y'all can see, please go thank her. She gave a super chat on mine of Jamal Live. But with the Shiloh Hendricks story, is that an accumulation of what's boiling up in America? Ever since the George Floyd riots, you have had blacks attack whites and other groups even more, cause destruction, demand things change, statues come down, streets names be changed, building names be changed, and nothing seems to ever satisfy the black community. And then when black folk go out and commit a crime like Carmelo Anthony, you have people that are celebrating Carmelo Anthony. Now, the same people who allowed Carmelo Anthony to fundraise allowed a fundraiser for Shiloh Hendricks. And I want you to realize black commentators are saying the one for Carmelo Anthony is okay, but the one for her is not. So, are we seeing an unfairness? Are we seeing an unfair? Are we seeing it? And somebody said whites are fed up. Imagine what black people are. Her fundraiser is frozen, by the way. I hope she doesn't get a dime. This is what somebody and I said. Did you feel that way? Did you feel that way about Carmelo Anthony, who stabbed Austin Metcalf? And let me ask a question. Are whites part of the problem? When other white people stand up and say they're fed up, other whites are there to say, no, don't do that. It's okay. We have to understand. Now, I want to see whether or not Go send. If go, what is it? Go send go. Go send go. That's who it is. Go send go. Who is it? Go send go. I want to see this. I want to see it. Did they go send go? Shiloh. If they close her down and allows Carmelo Anthony to have his, go send go is wrong. If go send go shut hers down and it's allowed, then no, that's wrong. But the founder says a viral shallow and it's okay, so you allow one and not the other. I just want to make sure I get some information before I get pauses. Hendricks. I hope they do not stop her go send go. And this person is lying, clearly lying. So this person is clearly lying, and I don't like liars on my page. You are clearly lying. You lied. You are lying. You are lying. I want to make sure I get this before I say somebody's lying. One thing about that. Shiloh Hendricks. Make sure that in the see that it say they stopped it. Because you know what makes me mad? Some of these quote unquote podcasters who do what I do, who are mad at Shiloh, but you don't say nothing about other racism. Shiloh, go send go. Go give send go. Nope. I see nothing about I see nothing about it being shut down. So whoever this was who said this is why this is why I don't like, if you can't debate, and honestly, I don't like that. This is what makes me mad about black folk. We will tell a lie to justify what's going on. Now, real quick, let's go over to Mrs. Lisa Sereno. Thank you for your kindness and generosity and your donation to the page. Um, donation to the page. There you go. There we go. Helping to attain your goal. Let me go turn this off. I got a door camera, and that door camera lets me know all the time when people are there. And it's a little annoying sometimes, my door camera, but I need it. Make sure nobody's there trying to, whatever. But I would like to thank Miss Lisa Sereno. Thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation to the page. Tonight's goal is 5 super chats, $5 at the most. Now, if you really want to help out, instead of doing a super chat, do a subscription. And a subscription is only $3. Now, I do have a poll I want you guys to do. I got a poll as well tonight. The poll says, is racism rising, or are whites tired of being victimized by blacks and pushing back? People are tired of the one-sidedness. That's basically saying white people are tired of it. It took long enough. Basically, what I'm saying is, hey, it took long enough. Took long enough for white people to start pushing back. Wrong regardless who started. And black folks still need more time. In other words, we still need more time to get ourselves right. Yes, we still doing stuff and we doing stuff that's not right, but we just need more time. So if you can, come take this poll, and I want to see what you got to say. And that's why, if you notice, the picture I purposefully did. And I like it. Like I said, whoever designed this, I got to give them credit. May 1st, 2025, the day white guilt died. Did it truly die? Is white guilt dead? We'll find out. Will people continue to back her and say, we're not backing down, we're not going away? Remember, Mind of Jamal, MOJ. MOJ, Mind of Jamal, only has 67 people. Hopefully some people can come over here and like it. And then come take the poll. Please come take the poll. Come take the poll. Thank you once again, Lisa Sereno. If you look at this, this is really what this is all about. This is actually what this is really all about. You really want to know what this Shiloh, Hendrix, and thing is all about? White Americans saw Carmelo Anthony stab a young man who had a promising career, he was in high school, about to graduate, had a promising career playing football, and on track, and they saw this young man who stabbed him and killed him, all because he told him to get from under the tent. All
because he told him to get from under the tent. Carmelo Anthony stabbed this boy and killed him. And people saw black folk, black liberals, and those on television run, support, and fund Carmelo Anthony's page. Carmelo Anthony's Go Send Go. And we're like, why are you supporting him? You were racist if you said Carmelo Anthony is a thug, he's ghetto, he's evil. If you said that, you was considered racist. You couldn't say Carmelo Anthony deserves jail time, or you're racist. And white folks saw Carmelo Anthony getting all these thousands. He got black superstars coming out supporting him. But this dead teenager, Austin Metcalf. And they even saw Austin Metcalf's daddy, which is white guilt too, tell whites who wanted to support his family, don't do that. Wow, this is not about racism. I just want to be liked too. Basically, that is what Mr. Metcalf said. He didn't have anything other than, I want to be liked too. Don't. This isn't about racism. My son was, your son was stabbed. Your son was stabbed. Life taken. All because he told a boy to go, this is not his tent. And people saw people online raise money. So you know what they said? We gonna stand up. And since every time you turn around, you hear in the rap music, nigga, my nigga. And you hear that all the time. You hear that. You hear it in all the rap lyrics. But when a white person say it, so when white people say it, it's wrong. When white people say it, it shouldn't be said. So people got tired of it. Oh, okay. Well, is that Missy Lane? Well, I want to thank Missy Lane for her kindness and generosity and donation to the page. I want to thank Missy Lane. Missy Lane gave a shout out. Yes, she did. Let me see what old Missy Lane said. Missy Lane says, and she goes back, who brings a knife to a track meet? There is more to the whole tragic situation that we may never know. Jesse Smollett, remember Jesse Smollett, who said two white men jumped him and put a noose around his neck. He was convicted and they threw it out. Black judge and liberals threw it out. This man clearly belongs in jail. And you had people saying, oh, this is racism. And he walks. George Floyd. Look what happened with George Floyd. They covered up his drug abuse. They covered up him robbing. They covered up all this stuff on him. Mostly peaceful protests. So people are tired of it. And I want to thank Miss Elaine for her kindness and generosity and donation to the page. Thank you, Miss Elaine. So you have people who are seeing this and are tired. Y'all, I'm going to try to have a short, I don't want to have a long show, but I don't have a choice tonight, y'all. I got so much to talk about, so much to go. And this cartoon right here is so true. Now, let's get started with the race hustler, Roland Roly-Poly Martin. Roland Martin and the things he was saying. Now, some of this I'm going to continue on Rumble. Some of these videos I can only show you on Rumble because whenever you show violence to a child, YouTube gets you. And there are a bunch of videos of black folk abusing white children. Then you got it, and being that it's involving children, and please pay attention to the moderators. If they warn you and tell you this will get you timed out, don't play with them. They've already told you about stuff, and I'm going to let my moderators handle it, but I'm going to stay on point. That's what I'm going to do. This is what this is all about. All this started right here.
Call him a nigger, the child? Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss?
Now, what I want y'all to pay attention to is they doxed her. They doxed her. They doxed this woman, and that should be illegal. We have to stop this able to put people address and personal information online without their permission. That has to stop.
Say it right now again.
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Now, watch when you say, let's see what the internet has to say about you. Because the person who took the video, they don't have too much of a clean background. The one who took the video was accused with a 16-year-old girl. Oh no, Harley Guerrero. Nobody has forgot about Cannon Hinton, little young Cannon in Wilson, North Carolina, who a black man walked across the street and shot that little boy in the head. Oh no, Miss Harlem, we have not forgot about that. Now you know the basis of everything that's going on. She said that because the little boy was going through her stuff and stealing. He saw her diaper bag for her son, and he started rummaging through it and stole some stuff. And that's what she's mad about. Now, I'm going to open up the phone lines after the first 5 minutes of this video. This video was 20 minutes, and I want you to listen to the black racism. This is the problem. And you are going to be mad listening to this man. You are going to be ticked listening to this man. You're gonna get it. Yes. Why was he in the park and he's a pedo? That man should have been locked up for that. Well, Miss Pam Jackson, when I open up the phone lines, you can call in and say she has no excuse to handle it this way with the 5-year-old. There are some people who disagree with you strongly. There are some people who say she caught him stealing out of her purse. Yeah, Miss Jackie McConnell, yes. Yes, ma'am, Miss Jackie. I got it, and I thanked you, Miss Jackie. But since you here, Miss Jackie, Sunday night, Miss Jackie McConnell, bless the page. Hold up. Yes, I do. Miss Jackie McConnell, Sunday, bless the page. And I want to thank you for your blessing to the page, Miss Jackie McConnell. Thanking you again. Thanking you, Miss Jackie, for your blessing to the page. Now, if you would like to donate to the page before we get started, Cash App, PayPal. Donate to the page, and of course, we'll thank you.
Need people to understand the climate that we're living in. The climate that we're living in. We told y'all how this thing was going to be unfolding. We said it the last time this thug was in the Oval Office. Now what you're seeing is this thing now on steroids. You now are seeing not only cops unleashing, being emboldened. You're now seeing other folk emboldened. You are seeing the absolute craziness that takes place. You're seeing how these people are treated. Take the case of this Shiloh Hendricks. Okay, Shiloh Hendricks. Now, some of you have seen the video of Shiloh Hendricks attacking a black child. Caught on video, having no problem at all being absolutely racist in these attacks on a playground. Let me show you this video. I know a lot of y'all have seen it, but I want you to understand how the racists are just jumping out of the woodworks. Watch this.
Nigga, please.
Did you call the...
That says We'll see about that, what the internet has to say. Now, this wasn't the only video. There was a different video. Okay, so watch this one here.
Call him a child? Did you call the child the word?
Yeah, spoiler alert. While I censor it, she uses...
Now, again, this of course is, you see this gentleman, he does a lot of these videos breaking these things down. Now, she is attacking a kid while she's carrying a kid. But I want y'all to understand what's going on in terms of how the racists are just so excited by this.
How many of you have seen videos of black women physically fighting each other with babies in their arms? Raise your hand. If you have seen videos of black women fighting each other, not arguing, but throwing blows while holding a baby, and the baby came out of their arms, please put a thumbs up in the comment section. If you have seen those videos on the internet, with the black woman fighting with their kids in the arms, put thumbs up. All I do is got to tell you is go to Twitter now and go to Instagram. All I tell you really go to Instagram. I can show them on Instagram. So obviously it's nothing new in the black community. So why are we sitting up here acting clutching pearls? But let's continue.
Then you have, again, the racists like Matt Walsh, of course, of the Daily Wire, and he's an absolutely white supremacist. He has no problem supporting racists. So listen to what he talked about.
It is, in the end, a net positive that this woman has raised $500,000. I'm glad she has. I hope she raises $1 million. I will not be joining with some of my conservative friends in wagging my finger at her donor. And I'll explain why. First of all, she does have a legitimate need for the money. The mob is truly trying to get her killed. I don't believe that a woman should have her life threatened saying a word, even a bad one. And you could say freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences for your speech, all you want. But if losing your livelihood and having your house burned down is a consequence of your speech, then you do not have free speech. Supporting free speech means supporting someone's ability to speak without having their family murdered for it. Okay? I mean, that should be pretty obvious.
Do you know when people say things like, you got freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences? Do you know when people say stuff like that, that's actually not free speech? Whenever violence is going to be your response to it. To harm someone physically, emotionally, financially. That is not free speech. And he doesn't like that Matt Walsh has a difference of opinion.
Second, more importantly, and the part that I really need everyone to stop and think about. This is the most devastating attack on cancel culture that we have seen, possibly ever. Shiloh Hendricks has, without really trying, effectively ended cancel culture. As Mark Dice said in his video about the incident, Shiloh is the final boss of cancel culture, or maybe rather the final boss that cancel culture has to fight. And I think that's right.
Here's what we have to understand on the Congo. these racists love this because they're like, oh yeah, we're winning. We now get to call you we get to call you the N-word. We get to call you any of these things. And you know what? We're going to stand up and support our fellow bigots. We're going to come to their aid. We are going to do whatever is necessary to support them, to back them up. And the number is somebody put right here. Someone said this tweet is Shiloh Hendricks doubles down after winning the racist lottery. Okay, and then you see right here where she is. Oh, see, she got no problem with her post at Anglo-Saxon girl using the N-word. And look at this here. Help me protect my family. My name is Shiloh, and I love this here. I have been put in a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. That's the N-word. Another man who we recently found out has had a history with law enforcement proceeded to record and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil. My social security number has been leaked. My address and phone number have been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be going back to school, even where I exercise has been exposed. Now, in this post here, you see, and this is supposedly a Christian platform. The goal is to raise $1 million. It's at $334,000. My understanding, it's exceeded $700,000. So the racists and the bigots are saying, oh, no. We've got to protect this fellow racist. We've got to protect this bigot. We've got to have this bigot's back. So by God, we are going to make as much, we're going to sit here and raise as much money as we can. They're on this platform called Give, Send, Go. That's where they've been raising the money. And give me 1 second, because I want to pull this up. So folk can understand how.
What about this, roly-poly Martin?
Are doing. And again, they're being aided by conservative media. Conservative media is loving it. Now, here's what's crazy. If you go on here, you type her name in, you literally see legal, emergency, family, medical, emergency. You see all of these. You see all of these efforts to raise money for Shiloh Hendricks. Now, the question is, what's legitimate? But we do know about $700,000 has been raised. That's what's crazy. These races are coming together and saying, yeah, here we go. One of our own. That's right. That bigot used the N-word. We got her back 100%.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought up the GoSendMe platform, because other platforms have no problems canceling donations and returning the money when something is found to be controversial. And I'd be very surprised to see what would happen on this website if somebody put up something that was deemed anti-Semitic. Would they cancel that? I'm very skeptical as it relates to that as well. So the hypocrisy is real, because they on there they basically said we don't make judgments and so on and so forth. I would like to know where the caretakers of this child are, and if they're filing any lawsuits relating to child endangerment or something, because they're going to need to have some money raised for them as well. This was the same situation we saw with Daniel Penny in New York, and that whole situation. And now he's working for a Trump billionaire.
Nigga, please.
This idea of what did Dr. King say? You can't legislate morality, but you can regulate behavior.
Gay! Ha! Gay!
this idea that this behavior is just going to be allowed and be platformed and people are going to be able to make money off of it, she's probably a future Fox contributor. This goes right in line with how you came back from the break in terms of talking about the police officer. White supremacy is being platformed in every way, shape, and form. And I am not...
Right.
I don't even know. I haven't followed this enough to know if all of those things she's talked about are actually happening.
Right.
The only thing missing from her was the white tears, right?
Oh no! First of all, I mean, look, you got them. This is the actual. They've raised $677,258. 25,413 people have donated. And you see right here, you see the list of donations, and look at her. Where do I even begin? The overwhelming support that my family and myself have received is unbelievable. I have never felt so scared yet reassured in my life. It's truly a whirlwind of emotions. You're a racist. This woman is no different than the White Citizens Council. She's no
Liar!
different than the hooded Klan folks. Oh, so you're now scared to death because somebody exposed your racism and your bigotry, and now you're mad that, oh my God, I'm being attacked. But you had no problem attacking the young boy with the N-word. But this is what Donald Trump has unleashed in America.
This nigga's crazy. This nigga's crazy.
That's right.
Julian, go ahead.
Without question, but this is what he said he was going to do. This is what he did last time around. This is what he did when he forced Mayor Bowser to paper over the Black Lives Matter sign. This is who he is. And all these used to be closet racists have been given permission to behave like the jackasses, excuse my language, that they are. He's given them permission to do it, and basically they have gone wild, gone amok. One of the things I think you said earlier, or someone did, she's holding a child in her hands, in her arms, and attacking a child. What is she teaching the child that she's holding in her arms? He is going to be the third or fourth or fifth or sixth generation of racists because she showed him what is acceptable. He's going to go to the playground and call a little boy who beats him at a game, the N-word. He's going to,
oh yeah, the bitch.
To we can't say what all he's going to do, but he has the worst kind of role modeling. And quite frankly, the Child Protective Services needs to come and get her child because she's unfit to raise a child. And that's what needs to happen. We have to fight back. Now, this is one case out of I don't know how many.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
But this is startling, and it's startling. And, it makes you want to lay hands on somebody. Where you say she was again? What her address?
First of all,
did you hear that? Did you just hear what she said? Like I said, before I open up the phone lines, you heard what she just said. While saying that this is what she said.
We have to fight back. Now, this is one case out of I don't know how many, but this is startling, and it's startling. It makes you want to lay hands on somebody. Where you say she was again? What her address?
First of all, there's an open case. There's an open case in Rochester, Minnesota, where this took place. And here's, now remember, you have two things going on here on Congo. You've got this, you've got the story out of Texas that we've covered as well, where Austin Metcalf, the white kid, was killed, and the black kid was charged, both students. But what's interesting here is there's this one person who goes by BIPOC something. This is literally what his tweet was. It's official. We won. So here's what they did. They showed how much has been raised to help the racist Shiloh Hendricks, and then they're comparing it to Carmelo Anthony, the young black kid who was charged with killing Austin Metcalf, and $520,000 was raised for his defense fund. But this person goes, "It's official, we won." Then when you go to this person's Twitter feed, they got 200,000 followers. They go by Christian colonizer. I screenshot in QT hateful, violent, ignorant, and racist tweets, hate and extremist content. X team. Yeah.
You serious?
But you support races. And then when you go underneath here, again, if y'all want to if you go underneath here, you're going to see all of these races in their comments, and you're going to see all of the things they have to say, because this is who they support. And people need to understand, they are literally supporting bigots and bigotry. And I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump has absolutely, I mean, look at this person. We have raised over $120,000 in a few hours. This has sent a thermonuclear missile into the Overton window. Big credit for assisting all.
He told them the truth.
Will you ignorant niggas please shut the hell up?
All of these people, again, going by independent journalists, this is who they are. They are openly supporting bigotry, and they got no problem doing so, because they know one of their own is sitting in the Oval Office. Their own is at the Department of Justice. It's in every facet of government. They've got Stephen Miller.
Another man. 2-2. Last train to Fayetteville, leaving in 5 minutes. Leaving in 5 minutes for that chocolate tunnel hole.
Go on and on and on. Racist, white supremacists, white nationalists are in control of the federal government.
Now I want you to hear all what he just said, because he doesn't like the way the 2024 election turned out, so you automatically racist. Because you don't want DEI, you're automatically racist. Because you looked at the stuff that was going on and you didn't go, which he made $300,000 off Kamala Harris. See, a lot of people don't talk about Roly Poly Martin. Roly Poly Martin made $300,000 off Kamala Harris. See, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Roland Martin made money on Kamala. Oh, she had to give him $300,000. And a lot of black folk didn't like it. A lot of black folk who supported Kamala Harris didn't like it. She paid him $350,000 to go on his show. But she was down with the cause, and many black folk slammed him. You supposed to have a media company, News One or Black Star Power, but you charged her? Now, Of course she's trash. Kamala Harris is trash
Giuliani.
anyway. But before we go any further, I would like to thank Miss Cynthia Shayne. Miss Cynthia Shayne, thank you for your blessing to the page through PayPal. Want to thank Miss Cynthia Shayne for her blessing to the page through PayPal.
Period, bottom line. Period, bottom line. You brought up Carmelo Anthony.
Thank you for that blessing to the page. Now, I do believe the person that's coming up is Kennedy. This guy, Kennedy X Kennedy, whatever his name is. I want to make sure I get him right. Because I want you to listen to what this person who is a teacher was teaching in his classrooms. I want you to hear this.
The last time I checked, it was his family that had to move because of threats that they were getting. And,
Dr. Umaga Bugaga Budaga Dudaga Dudeba Baba. That's his name. But listen to this.
We see stories like this across the country where black families get attacked in some way, either physically or on social media. We are not the ones threatening to burn people's houses down. We are not the ones doxing people and having people do SWAT activities on people's homes.
They literally got the video with the woman information. The woman that's on the show with him was literally talking about going to the woman's house. And he came up and said this. Is he not hearing his co-host?
Nigga, please.
Not the ones who were doing that. And so this whole story actually makes me more concerned for that child and his family and what's going to happen to them. Someone's going to put their information out there as well. And that's why these stories are important to get out there so people know that we have to protect them. We are the only ones who are going to be able to protect ourselves.
Once again, that's what's the same person who defended the Carmelo Anthony Go Send Go. He was the same person. So it's okay to murder the white boy and black folk give you money. But when a little white woman say the N-word, oh, she got to go. Whatever happens to her happening. This is what I mean by we are starting something. We better stop. The black community is starting something. We better stop. And I got a question. Like I said, phone lines will be open in about 3 minutes. I'm opening up the phone lines at 2320. I want to hear what y'all got to say, because some of y'all in the comment section are like, it's not right. It's not right. I don't care what happens. We got to be better than that. I'm going to tell you something. That we got to be better than that stuff isn't working. The we got to be better than that stuff isn't working. That's not working. Because things are getting worse and worse and worse.
Because we are dealing with a racist government. We're dealing with a racist president who, as you said at least 6 times today already,
shut up, bitch,
unleashed these people on us. They want the violence. They want the hate. They want the smoke. The fact that you're going to compare someone on a murder trial to a racist lady, calling a child this, is barbaric and disrespectful.
So it's okay to raise money for the black boy, because we agree with what he did. I want y'all to hear that. So all you who are saying, oh, we don't need this, this is just racism, blah, blah, blah. I want you to hear what he's saying. It's okay to raise money for the black boy who killed the white boy. That's fine. But don't you raise money for this white lady who caught a boy trying to steal money or steal out of her bag. She got mad, called him a little nigga. But it's okay. I want you to hear how you can't reason with these people. I want you to hear their mindset. It's okay for black folk to support Carmelo Anthony and raise money for Carmelo Anthony because he's black. He just sat there, stabbed a white boy in the heart, all because he told him to get from up under their tent. He's in the wrong school tent. He stabbed him for that. They are praising Carmelo Anthony, saying it's for his legal fund. But for the white girl Shiloh? Can you make this up? You can't make this up. You can't. You cannot make this up.
A kid in my class who said that my class taught him that he was a racist because he was thinking about all of his experiences growing up.
Did you hear that?
5 years old. He remembers watching TV. He said at least 6 times today already, unleashed these people on.
I want you to hear what this man just said. I want you to hear this.
On us. They want the violence, they want the hate, they want the smoke. The fact that you're going to compare someone on a murder trial to a racist lady, you know, calling a child this is barbaric and disrespectful. I had a kid in my class who said that my class taught him that he was a racist.
His class taught him he was a racist. His class taught this young white boy that was in his class for education that he was a racist. Now you tell me that wouldn't make enough people mad to say the heck with it all, we pushing back. I want you to realize that. I want you to realize that. Yes, I know who Tommy Sotomayor is. I listen to Tommy Sotomayor. When Tommy has spaces, when Tommy do spaces, I wait in line and I go up on the show and Tommy allows me to talk. No, this isn't. No, I'm with this. I'm not working with Tommy. No, I'm not. I would love to. Tommy Sotomayor is one. Truth be told, all this when it comes to people on the internet where people have actually generated a profit and actually exposing the things, especially when it comes to black men and how we are being left behind and suffering from abuse from black women. Tommy Sotomayor started all that. Tommy Sotomayor was the first one to start calling out the BS that was going on in the black community. One of the first, especially on YouTube, and brought out a lot of people who were scared to say it, but started to say it. Before Kevin Samuels. And I love Kevin Samuels. Great man. I still listen to Kevin Samuels. But Tommy Sotomayor is the foundation of the majority of this black manosphere. Tommy was saying some of this stuff years before. I have nothing. I don't know what I call in the comment section right here, But anybody saying, you trying to be, I don't know what nobody said. I see my admin Stacy put it in check real quick. But yes, I know exactly who Tommy Sotomayor is. And if Tommy's talking about this subject, I'm glad he is. I'm glad. I love it that Tommy is. Now, get back to what I was saying. I want y'all to realize what this man said. He got a classroom that where he'll make white students feel like they're racist. If he's at a college, you're paying for that. I want you to realize, if this man is at a college, you're paying for it.
They want the violence, they want the hate, they want the smoke. The fact that you're going to compare someone on a murder trial to a racist lady, calling a child this, is barbaric and disrespectful. I had a kid in my class who said that my class taught him that he was a racist because he was thinking about all of his experiences growing up. And he said when he was 5 years old, he remembers watching TV with his uncle and his uncle said, you see that person on TV? That's an N-word. Like, he was getting that so young. And for people who thought that we've come so far and this new generation.
What about black folk? What about the racism black folk are taught? What about the racism black people are taught? What about the racism what black folk is taught? Anybody ever ask that question? What about the racism black folk is taught? And what we do? The violent behavior and what we do. Like I said, I'm gonna show this on Rumble only. Just a hint of it. And how black people tell their black children, don't you ever let a white person say this, or don't ever let a white person say that. White people enslaved us. White people did this. White people did that. You talking about culture? Look at this.
No. I just wonder, where does this come from?
Is that wrong? Is that racist? Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Call in. I got a bunch of stuff I want to get to. I also want to get to Piers Morgan, because while we're waiting and between calls, I can go on and talk about it real quick. Piers Morgan had somebody on the show, and she said, I said, Piers Morgan is trying to get, and I told people, everybody, Piers Morgan. Let me tell you something about Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is a liberal. Always have been. And he hung around Jeffrey Epstein too. But Piers Morgan is trying to get the guy from Go Send Go to cancel her money. Piers Morgan is trying to get the guy who owned Go Send Go, to take this woman's GoFund down, but didn't say that about Carmelo Anthony. You call, and see, that's a problem. That's the problem. You got people like Piers Morgan who believe they're helping to end racism by capitulating. And he had the guy let me see, is anybody called in? Oh, dag, a lot of people. All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. What? Rapper 10,000. Let me start it off. Rapper, you going to have 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm not going to let you go over because I got a bunch of people waiting to call in on this. All right. Let's go. All right, rapper, you got to stick within the 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You got people calling in behind you. What's going on, rapper?
Well, a lot's going on, but to stick to the subject, I heard what Roland Martin said, and it was pretty much disgusting, hissing, what he and everybody else had doing to make excuses for Carmelo Anthony while demonizing the white woman for saying the N-word. And I really do not like Roland Martin or these type of propaganda type of shows aimed at Black Americans, because all it just shows is the ignorance behind the Black community and the double standards. Because if you ask anybody else who are the most racist people in America nowadays, a lot of people would point to the Black community, because the Black community can always make some type of racial slur about other demographics, but the moment you say something about them, then they feel the need to kind of act violent, like in the Carmelo Anthony's case, or in another stabbing incident that happened recently at Dunkin' Donuts and Wendy's.
No, I didn't hear that, but keep going.
Well, in the Dunkin' Donuts case, the Black employee was upset at this 71-year-old man who said something to him, and he jumped over the counter and lunged and killed the man as a result. And the judge, last I heard, made some type of excuse for him because he said some word to him, and that gave him a reason for doing that. Regardless of how you feel about something, nobody, and I mean nobody, should be taking someone's life over a word. And if you really feel this badly about the N-word, why do you keep on saying it 24/7 and even calling people who are not even part of the Black community that word to begin with?
Okay, where was this stabbing at? Where was this at?
I don't remember the location. I remember seeing the video on YouTube a while ago, like a few days ago.
Okay, I'm finding some from 2024. Suspect found in the Chattanooga Dunkin' stabbing. This is 2024. But thank you, rapper. Thank you, rapper, for calling. Hold up. Ex-worker jailed for raping, stabbing woman in Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, is this? Nah, this 75 years for rapist who stabbed and forced ex-co-worker in Dunkin' Donuts freezer. Okay, that's it. Let's see. I don't see anything on that. I don't see anything. It's just suspect in custody and stabbing at Burholme Dunkin'. So Dunkin' in Pennsylvania. Sound like this is England. England, because England has a Philadelphia as well. But yeah, I haven't seen anything on it. I don't know about that, rapper, but thank you for the call. But thank you for the call, rapper.
Welcome.
All right, Pamela Savage. Pamela Savage, you're on the air, Pam. How are you doing?
Pam Savage.
All right, Miss Pam, how are you doing?
You challenged me to call in, so I did.
Okay.
Now, here's the problem. Well, I have a couple problems with this whole thing.
Let's go.
The first one is the little boy is only 5 years old. Okay. To me, it's like, where were his parents? Okay, and he could have perfectly decent parents, Jamal. It's that he's 5 years old and he looks over, at her purse or a bag, and he sees something that he doesn't. I don't believe that a 5-year-old knows that. Hey, I think she's not looking now, so I'll just go, heist it while she's not looking. They don't think like that. I mean, for this woman to think that there's something wrong with her. There is something wrong with her, and although I don't think she should have to go to jail for doing that, I do think she should do some community service. I seriously do, because that could have been so much worse. Had the parents been there, what would you do if you were the parent and this happened and somebody's calling your son and attacking him like that, and you could be going, you know what, I've taught him how to, to eat all his dinner, and I've taught him when to tell him he's got to go to the bathroom, and I've taught him
Miss Pam, I'm going to answer your question. Hold on, Miss Pam, I'm going to answer your question. My children have been, I have both of my children over 5, and neither one of my children ever went through my wife purse and took anything out of her purse. Why? Because when they tried it at 2, when they tried it at 1, they got their hands popped. My wife said right then and there, hold on, because I let you talk, and I listen. My wife's established at a very young age, you do not go through people's stuff without their permission. If your child is 5 years old, going through picking up people's stuff and going through people's stuff at 5 years old, that means your child ain't got no home training. Your child ain't got no discipline, because by the age of 5, that child is already beginning to taking on personalities and taking on behaviors. Now, I just showed you a picture of a little boy, had to be every bit of 3 or 4, walks up to a man who's drumming, grabs him by the throat, and takes that out of his hand. Now, I know some people want to think that this is still the 1970s and the 1980s when black folk beat their kids. It was always a joke, Miss Pam, that black folk whoop their kids. You can't call no black mama the B word. You can't just do what you want to do in a black house. Those days are gone. These black mothers that are raising these kids right now are getting cussed out, getting beat on. These little kids is running the house. That's what's going on right now in today's black homes. Yes, there are a few homes where they are holding on to the old ways, but not anymore. They are coming this new sexy red Meg the Stallion. Too many of the mamas trying to be strippers because the mamas are under the age of having them at 20, so mama want to still live their life, and they raising these little thugs and these little hoodlums. Now, so I cannot talk. I can say, I know that wouldn't have been my child, so my child would have been put in that predicament. But that child was comfortable enough going to, and strangers they didn't know, ravaging through that stuff to take it out. That woman was rightfully so mad. And you said, where was his parents? You said, where was his parents? Where was his parents?
Facing off with the 5-year-old child.
Say what?
I think I'm watching you. I better close that because I think there's a delay.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just saying, Jamal, that she should have never spoken to a 5-year-old child like that. And I noticed when you did a clip on her, I noticed that she doesn't have a ring on her finger. So, and I get the idea because I'm an old timer, right? Mm-hmm. And had I done something like that, my father or my mother or any other adult would have knocked me into the next neighborhood. So, but it started a long time ago where, people don't spare the rod, spoil the child. And if you hit your child or you reprimand your child nowadays, they'll just, take you off and you'll be in a heck of a lot of trouble. But the woman was wrong. That white woman, had I been at that park and heard a white woman talking like that, Jamal, I can guarantee I would have rose up and I would have said, you need to leave right now.
Well, let me ask you a question.
She was lucky the parents weren't there, because that could have been a heck of a lot uglier. Now, I'm not saying that I think it's good to dox her and let everybody know where because that's bringing it. Two wrongs never make a right.
Well, hold on for a second. Let me ask you a question. If you would have saw a bunch of black parents if you saw black parents calling white kids the C cracker, calling white kids cracker, saying black kids bullying little white kids on the playground, and the parents just laughing, would you walked over there to those black parents and tell them go get your child?
Well, it's a funny thing. After Obama was elected his first term, okay, there was that hope, right? I mean, there was that hope that this settles it right now. There is no racism alive in the United States anymore. I went into a Walmart one time, and when I was walking in,
you just actually ducked the whole thing I just said.
No, because I'm going to tell you a story about this whole thing. So when I went into this, when I was walking into Walmart, all of a sudden there's this car, and there's this black guy walking ahead of me by about maybe 15 feet. And he had his son that looked to be about, I'm going to say 6 or 7, Jamal. And the car stops and flips this guy off, okay? And I'm like, what's this? And then the black guy starts calling him the N-word. And he's yelling the MF N-word. I mean, it was just bizarre. And the car took off, right? And then the guy turned around to make sure that his kid was still right there. And I looked at him because I was kind of closer to him. And I go, you're not supposed to say that word anymore. And he just looked at me, and I thought, boy, I'm going out here, and he's going to, probably tell me to mind my own effing bit. But he didn't. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, but, he started it over there. And I go, well, that's okay. And I just looked at this little boy. I thought, and you know what? Hey, he could have beat me up. I mean, but he didn't.
But look,
I will rise to the occasion. If I see a wrong,
Miss Pam, no, you didn't. I'm gonna tell you why you didn't. Miss Pam, I'm gonna tell you, Miss Pam, I'm gonna tell you what you did. I'm gonna tell you what you did. And people who can hear me exactly what I'm about to say in the story, Miss Pam. I always got to say Miss Pam because you're older than me, and I will always give you that respect. Miss Pam, you just sat there and said you would have walked up to her and talked to her in a totally different manner in which you talked to him. Hold on. You said you looked at him, and in the tone in which you said it, you spoke to him in a soft tone so he wouldn't be offended. But when you came to her, what you would have said to her, you would have been more openly aggressive. And that's the problem I was saying. You would have corrected.
Well, you might be right there, Jamal.
And that's
you might be right. Maybe it's because she's a woman and I'm a woman.
That's a problem.
And I would have stood off with her because I got so mad because I'm a woman and I raised my children. I only had one boy, but I love children. I just think they're the neatest thing on the planet. And I would have been so irate at her for her even thinking that was a good idea. I'd have stood up for that little 5-year-old child. I'll go to my grave believing that, you know what?
Yes.
Nobody has the right to demean a 5-year-old child. That's not the same thing as saying that child shouldn't have been reprimanded. Somebody should have talked to him and said, hey, and you're right. I mean, I respect your wife by letting them know ahead of time, hey, that's my purse. Those are my personal things, and you don't go there. And I mean, that shows that you're strong parents. There's a lot of people out there that are not strong parents, Jamal.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
but
I see it all the time. I see it all the time. When I was a kid, if an adult told you no, it was a done deal. Okay?
But I
can go to any grocery store nowadays, and you'll hear the kid, hey mom, can I have such and such? The mother will go no, and the argument ensues.
But Pam, Miss Pam, I cannot let it go. Miss Pam, I cannot let. But still, I cannot let that go. Hold on, Miss Pam, I cannot let it go. That you did say you talk to the black folk in a much softer and nicer tone who was doing wrong, but the white girl, you came in and you criticized her, and that's the problem white people are getting tired of. When they sit there and they see someone black doing just absolute wrong, their own community will talk in a harsher tone to the white folk. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But when you sit there and you are talking to someone black, your tone is lower. You act as if that black person can't be given the same strength of reprimand that you gave to the white one.
Well,
and white folk are saying that
I don't really know, Jamal, is that maybe it was easier for me to stand off with a woman than it would be for me to stand off with a man. I don't really know if it was a color thing at that point. I just know that I felt good standing up, and I'll continue to do it, so.
But see, no problem with standing up.
Interesting.
But standing up, but there's no pressure thing. The problem isn't standing up. The problem is in how people stand up and how they address one. When you have George Floyd, matter of fact, perfect example, I'm going to show this video of these black girls beating and dragging this white girl up and down the school halls. And they were scared to touch him, but when it's someone white, they throw them and stop the fights. It's like people are witnessing, Miss Pam. People are actually witnessing the difference in how one is treated for the same thing, and people like, no, we're tired of it. And this is what happened with her. If it wasn't for the Carmelo Anthony thing, if black folk had not gotten out and start doing this with Carmelo Anthony, white folks saying this isn't fair, this isn't right, because I'm seeing it and I'm hearing it. If there had been a universal stop it, don't do, y'all need to stop it, and telling black folk stop it. But white folk can't be the only one telling their people to stop it while black folk cheering their people on. They can't sit here and say, oh, you stabbed and murdered Austin Metcalf, yeah, you standing up for black folk, you standing up, don't let that white boy do that, you ain't gonna let white folk do us like we used to do. But when it's someone white, oh, it's wrong, racist, you just stop. And what that causes is people to rebel. Let me say this to somebody real quick. No, I have not put up my rebel flag, and I wear my rebel flag when I want. I noticed this, and I'm not talking to you, Miss Pam. I'm talking to someone in my comment section that's done sat here and threw me off. Stonewall. I have my flag, and I still got my flag. All of them I still got. But as you do know, as someone who works, I take my studio and I put it together the way I do. If you don't like it, that's the only thing you done said. I ain't seen you put down as a subscriber. You got nothing besides your name. Nothing. You're not a subscriber. You're not a moderator. So you just up here just to say what? Oh, y'all don't see you with your rebel flag. Obviously, you didn't watch Sunday Morning Tie Talk just a week ago when I wore it to church like I wear it. Oh, you didn't see that. Or the other videos I did with the rebel flag on my shirt. But all you can do is just sit there and talk. Oh, you. Okay, well, you know what? I got something for people like you. Bye. See you. Okay, Miss Pam. But thank you for calling in, Miss Pam.
I sure hope I'm not the one that got you all riled.
No,
by that. But I'm going to have to think about this, digest it for a while, because I don't know. You might be right. Maybe it's a tribal thing where, I felt more comfortable browbeating the white person because, that's what I am. And I, gave more grace to a black person. But, I don't know. Either way, I'm still proud of myself.
Yes,
I didn't see her, but I will not let that slide. I will not stand back and keep my mouth shut.
Well, my thing is this. They doxed her.
But then I'm the one that doesn't like the N-word too,
Okay.
I mentioned that before. But love you, Jamal, and I'm going to get back and let you get back to your show, dear.
All right. Love you too. Have a good night.
I sure will.
Yes, ma'am. That was Miss Pamela Savage, y'all. That was Miss Pamela Savage from Rumble, not Rumble, from Mind of Jamal Live. That is Miss Pam Savage from Mind of Jamal Live. Let me see, is anybody else waiting in? Nope, nobody's waiting in the queue. But that's not the only thing. Like I said, everybody is Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan had the guy from Go Send Go on his show. And you know what Piers did? Piers mentioned taking hers down, but he didn't mention Carmelo Anthony. You didn't mention Carmelo Anthony, Piers. And some people called him out. You can't have rules for thee and not for me.
I'll say historically, we've stood on that principle of saying we're going to allow things that we disagree with.
Okay.
And we've allowed things that we completely disagree with.
Do you allow
on the
people to
platform.
do
But our
pro-abortion?
mission-
Do you allow pro-abortion fundraising?
Actually, there's two caveats to what Give, Send, Go has carved out, and one of them is it's broken into two pieces, but it's the protection of children. So we say we're going to protect children because they don't have a voice. So we're not going to allow fundraising for abortions on Give, Send, Go, and we're not going to allow fundraising for the transition of children.
Okay, but what about a 5-year-old child being? What about a 5-year-old black child being called the N-word?
What about that?
Where does the protection for that child come in?
Well, that's their parents' responsibility. That's like if my child, and I have several children, if my child was called something bad, I would take my child aside and I would tell them.
But you just said that one of the caveats.
Hang on,
you just said one of the caveats for Give, Send, Go is the protection of children. You talked about the transitioning process. You talked about abortion, which is obviously your Christian perspective on that. And I'm simply saying, why doesn't it include children being racially abused? Why is that suddenly the parents' responsibility, not yours as a platform?
No, because
where you are literally
enriched.
You are going to make a. Well, look, let me just spell it out to you. The way things are going, you're going to make a millionaire out of a woman who racially abused a child. And if your caveats are for
that's
protection,
incorrect.
Well, hang on. Well, you are.
You see what I mean? No one asked Carmelo Anthony's family see, Carmelo Anthony family could raise on Go Send Go, which is no problem.
But Myron, with respect, Myron, I don't need to wag a finger when somebody says, yeah, I'm racist, I use the N-word against black people, I don't care. That's a racist. I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not accusing anybody. She is admitting it proudly. Even you can't defend that, surely.
Everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is it depends on, a lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, I'm not racist at all. We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, see, I think this Shiloh, Hendrickson, Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organizing. And what I mean by this is for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge the police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens, use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result. When in reality, it's not the police killing black people, it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality or, oh, it's all so messed up. The reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look, am I saying that's awesome? Am I saying that's great? No, but for literally the better part of almost 2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it. Political correctness, liberalism, and making sure that we are politically correct and don't use certain words to offend people is precisely why we're in the situation that we're in. For decades, we've had to literally tiptoe around saying certain things around certain people, while the other group of people has been able to have impunity and be able to be as racist as they want to be, as violent as they want to be, without any type of consequence. And if you call it out, you're labeled a racist. The reality is this. Black people don't want to live around black people. I don't want to live around a bunch of black people. I move to neighborhoods where it's majority white because I know I'm safe. Now, this is uncomfortable reality that no one wants to say, so I'll say it for them. Black people commit a lot of crimes. A majority of the violent crime committed in the United States is committed by a small percentage of people, and they tend to be black men. Look, the reality is the reality. People don't want to say it, but the political correctness and being nice and not wanting to tell the truth is precisely this problem. And the reason why you're seeing all the support for Metcalf and Shiloh, etc., is because white people have not been able to step up and say what they want to say for a very long time because of what I said before, systemic, organized, where they don't take accountability for their decisions.
Myron broke that down, y'all. Myron broke that down. What do you got to say about it? Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. What do you have to say about it? What do you feel? I want to hear some of y'all opinions. I would like to call it in. Miss Pam, we talked. Good conversation. Nobody was mad at each other. Miss Pam Savage, one of my moderators. She also over there on Rumble. Miss Pam Savage. So what do y'all say? What do y'all feel? Got to hear it. I'm checking the phone lines right now. I guess some people mad, but oh well. Oh, we got Elaine Steve Simpson. Oh, y'all know Miss Elaine about to tear it up. All right, y'all. Let's get to some phone calls. Miss Elaine. Miss Elaine. Hello, Miss Elaine. You're first up at bat. Y'all see. Hey, Miss Elaine.
Hi, how are you?
All right. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay.
Well, what do you...
Did listen to what that last guy was saying? I was getting kind of annoyed with what the last person was saying.
Who, Myron? The black dude?
Okay.
Or Pierce Morgan?
You know what? I think it's a family thing.
Okay.
Because I've been through this with my son in school.
Okay.
Where a kid was picking on him.
Uh-huh.
All the time. And the teachers wouldn't tell me. I'm like, well, you know what? I didn't send him to school with a black eye. Why am I picking him up with a black eye? And they would never tell me.
And black folk is calling it out. Because
and it was next time, it was a knot on his head. I'm like, why do you have a big bump on your head? What is going on?
I'm like, I'm done.
So in other words,
And it was a black kid.
mm,
I'm like, well, what are you doing about this kid? You know he's doing it to him. And you're not telling me.
uh-oh.
I went right to principal's office. I was like, nope. This is not happening anymore.
What ended up happening?
Oh, the resource officer, or whatever you call him there, he would go now stand on the playground and make sure no one's beating each other up out there.
Well, he should have been doing that beforehand.
Well, you think. And then one day after I was driving past, that kid was walking to school by himself in the pouring rain. No umbrella, no nothing. When I went to school to pick him up, my son came out and said, well, he came into class, he was soaking wet. I'm like, no, I saw him.
Did your son
He
feel?
walked all the way over away from Southside, all the way to school by himself in the pouring rain to school.
Wow.
I'm like, now I know that kid's anger and why he. That's not right.
But let me ask you a question.
At 5 years old.
Did that anger
What?
give him a right to justify abusing your, bullying your son to the fact that he was basically abusing your child? He took his anger out from what his parents did wrong and how his parents failed him. He took it out on your child. Is that fair?
No.
Should you know, as your child sat here and every day had to deal with being beat and knocked on, black eyes and knots, all because he mad because his mama and daddy were too sorry to get him an umbrella. His mama and daddy were too sorry to drop him off at school. His mama and daddy was too sorry to have him the proper supplies. So your child had to suffer because of his sorry mama and sorry daddy. That's wrong. And that's one of the things that should never be. If you haven't, and this is something that people say something we'll know. If you're having a bad day, you don't take it out on nobody else.
Truth.
And that boy took his anger out on your child and made your child miserable because he was. Misery may love company, but sometimes you got to tell the miserable, stand over there alone because you ain't messing with me today. And he made your child life a living hell because his mama and daddy was sorry. That's their fault. I'm sorry, this may sound cruel, but if you people need to stop making excuses for people who parents failed them. Once you become a certain age, you know right from wrong. And if you choose to take it out on, if you choose to do wrong, then you get the consequences of it.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
But as I drove past, that little boy was walking and it was pouring rain.
I hate
and I
it.
saw him. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks to be you. And keep going.
And then I had to go to work, and then when I went back to school after work to pick him up, he's like, well, he came into class, he was soaking wet. And I'm like, shit.
Oh, well, sucks to be you. That's what I would have said. Oh, well, sucks to be you.
I don't... Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is a sad situation for some of these people.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't mean that you take it out on other people.
And that's the thing. That's the key. Just because you got a sucky life don't mean you got to make someone else's life a living hell. Thank you, Miss Elaine, for the call. I thank you for the call, Miss Elaine.
All right, well, take care.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Steve Simpson, Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve, how are you doing tonight? How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Let me turn everything off, or turn everything down. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know we had a little mix-up Friday, but anyway.
Yeah, please forgive me for that, Mr. Steve.
I do. Well, all I was calling about Friday is I owe you an apology. Now, get to that right at the end.
Okay.
Okay. The deal with the young lady, okay, and the young man or older man, whatever, that took the video. The reason why I think it's kind of hard to weigh in on it is because people don't know or have any idea. I haven't heard anything as to what you have to give me that. It's hard to think.
Transacted before.
Yeah.
What happened beforehand?
Before the video came on.
Uh-huh.
Don't know what the man was saying to her before she started using racial slurs. Now, I can't defend her if I don't know what he said in order to be able to defend him. Mm-hmm. Now, according to your show tonight, I didn't know nothing about him until you brought up his background. So, I can say, with my own personal opinion, is that he's not quite on the level as on himself. And I would assume probably just as racist could be, and may have started the racist remarks and then turned his video on.
Yep, because there is a piece missing, like you said. He's like, so he could have did something and she's saying something back.
Exactly, and that's what he got on video, or that's the part that he cut out of his video. Now, what I owe you an apology for. Mm-hmm. I promised you some pictures, and that I was going to get my son to make. I got the pictures that he needed in order to put those pictures together for you.
Yes, sir.
And I forgot about it. I never sent it over to him. I forgot about it, and I apologized. And he's got it. Just as soon as he gets done working on something else he's working on, he will get to those. And I'll send them, I don't know, post them to your Facebook page or whatever, but I will get them to you.
All right. Well, I look forward to them.
I'm sorry I did forget about it. But anyway, you have a blessed night. And
you too.
We'll talk to you Friday.
All right. Lord willing, see you Friday.
All right. Bye.
All right. Now, let's go to where Piers Morgan had told this woman, and Byron, and you recognize this person. You're going to recognize the person who's about to freak out. Mark Lamont Hill. He is about to freak out. And Myron added some monkey sounds in it. Yes, Myron trolled Mark Lamont Hill. Prepare to laugh.
I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly, and you will.
Well, go
not
on then,
have
say it. Say
you
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free speech.
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
No.
Don't
Invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
Boy, he did that.
Here. And to ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word. The only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here.
Myron trolled them. Myron had a gun, and the gunshot said, nigga. Boy. And yeah, calling him an Uncle Tom, and it's the same. It's just as worse. You can't have one that's doing it and not the other. You can't have one and not the other. You can't. If you're going to demand that the page is taken down, that Shiloh Hendricks should lose her page, then Carmelo Anthony needs to lose his page. If Carmelo Anthony has cashed all his money out, then she should have a right to cash all her money out. Let me get this one.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No,
if you
that's
have...
fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N-word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist?
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Now, she did push back.
People stand up for themselves. We're labeled a racist. And by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were a racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave, and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image, so I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Because you've literally made black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the N word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense.
My fault? Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to act in a certain way, if I have to cross the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault for having bad behavior?
That's mind-boggling to me for multiple reasons. I mean, we're talking about bad behavior. You know, we've never lynched you, we've never enslaved you, we've never done any of the deep-seated structural forms of injustice to white people that white people.
Liar! Actually, you had something called a Barbary Pirates. You had things like blacks kidnapping and torturing. So he was wrong. I'm trying to read what somebody's writing up here. Let me go see what this person's background is. Okay. Come on, slaves. Okay. Let's see. I just want to make sure before I block. And delete. Let me check this. Let me see. So went over my limit. I don't get what she's saying. Somebody's saying something I really don't get it. But she pushed back. She pushed back, and that's how you have to do it. Now, let me see, is anybody on the phone lines? Nope, nobody's on the phone lines. Well, like I say, we are going over to Rumble. We are going over to Rumble. But I guess I'm telling y'all, don't play around. The moderators are not playing. All I'm going to say is explain this.
Is it are they teaching their kids to do this? Or? No. I just wonder, where does this come from? Is it are they teaching their kids to do this, or is this just what these people are like?
All right, everyone. It is time. It is time to head out. It is time to head out and go to bed. Well, not go to bed, but go for the other part of the show. We got to go to Rumble. We got to go to Rumble. We got to go to Rumble so I can play these videos. Got to go. And I know a lot of white Americans don't like to talk about racism because so many white Americans have been taught they was the perpetrators of racism. Everything they did was evil, white. There's so many white people that's been taught that, and that's what they think about themselves. That white people really just want to sometimes crawl in someplace and hide to keep from being bothered about, oh, racism, 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 racism. Some white folk just want to just go hide. Every time they hear it, they're like, go hide. They want to be left alone because they're tired of it. They're tired of being called racist. But everyone, let's go on over to Rumble. Let's go over to Rumble. Like I said, I want to show a couple videos. So we're going to go over to Rumble. All right. Heavenly Father, we come unto you to pray. First and foremost, Lord Jesus, I ask you to forgive me of all my sin and iniquity. Lord Jesus, right now in the sound of my voice, I ask you to forgive me of all my sin and iniquity. Lord Jesus, I ask you right now that you deliver those who suffer from drug abuse, alcoholism, suicidal thoughts, depression, homelessness. I pray right now that husbands make a home to their wives and children, and wives make a home to their husbands and children. I pray right now, Lord Jesus, I pray right now, Lord Jesus, for those in nursing homes, hospitals, and hospice. And I pray right now for the staff of the nursing home, hospitals, and hospice. I pray right now for those nurses, doctors, nurse practitioners, all those who staff the nursing homes, hospitals, and hospitals. I pray right now that you give them strength, wisdom, and they're able to watch and do the parents. Lord Jesus, I pray right now for the farmers, all farmers, produce, dairy, hog, chicken. I pray right now, Lord Jesus, I pray right now, Lord Jesus, that you bless those who are chicken, hog, and dairy farmers. Lord Jesus, we ask you right now to watch over those who are in the audience watching. Keep them, Lord Jesus, and guide them. We pray right now for truck drivers and those working train engineers and train conductors. For the husband that's watching me right now, I pray for the safety and security of his wife and children. For the wife that's watching me right now, I pray for the safety and security of her husband and children. And for the grandparents that's watching me right now, I pray for the safety and security of their grandchildren and children. Last but not least, I pray right now for my own wife and children. I pray right now that you continue to touch my daughters and heal them, and so they'll be able to go to school and be good. And Lord Jesus, I thank and praise your holy name. Amen. All right, y'all. Yeah. My eyes done started. Boy, y'all heard me fighting it. Y'all hear me fighting it. You know what was about to go down. I just don't think it's constructive or accomplish anything. You know what, Miss Michelle Lowenberg? When white people have done that in a nice, quiet tone, they were still called racist. Like I said, I think this is a response to that Carmelo Anthony thing. And yeah, y'all can tell I'm getting sleepy. I want to make it to the second show. I want to make it. Marcy, hold up. Somebody just called in. Hold on. Let me get them. Because I'm getting sleepy. I'm fighting it off. Hello, Miss Marcy. How are you doing?
I'm sorry there, Jamal. That I don't know why it comes up on my wife's name. It's Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I was sitting here watching on YouTube. I guess you've switched over to Rumble, but
not yet. I was about to. You still live on both.
Okay, very good. First things first. Amen. And may God put a hedge of protection around you and your family.
Thank you.
So, what I'd like to say is, I really wish, and I have some people that I hang around with that I know, I wish more black people, black Americans, would stop listening to these race hustlers. Mark Lamont Hill, he got triggered, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. I wish more would stop listening to these, to these ones like Roland Martin and, all these others. It's like, you see all these things going on. Like earlier today, I watched a video. You may have seen it. I don't know, the one with all the ladies in Lululemon twerking and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Why? Why would you do that? This makes people don't like us.
I just wish more and more black people would start talking out about that kind of stuff, because it makes them look so bad. What do they think other people see? And not just white people, but Hispanic, everybody. What do you think they see? I mean, it just looks so bad.
Well, here's my thing. Stuff like what you saw in Lululemon, it's getting worse. More ignorance, more stupidity. Because George Floyd, and I always say this, a lot of any white resistance that was there left in America shunned away even more because of George Floyd. They got told you're being racist if you say anything back. A lot of black folk was like, listen, this guy's not a hero. This guy's not a hero. Listen, he's not a hero, please. And white folks still went for him as a hero, and they did change their page to all black and did the nil, and they found out nothing changed. It just got worse. It just got worse. And with this thing right now, this Carmelo Anthony thing, this is what this all extends from. And people want to know, this all comes from Carmelo Anthony. They went to Go, made $500,000. White folk and people who supported her say, you know what, we're tired of it. This is this is the hill we're going to die on. We're tired of censorship. We're tired of having to watch what we say while others don't. And that's what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure you're probably about to say same age as I am. We grew up in the age of when rap first came out.
I'll be 50 years old this month.
I remember, back in the Run DMC days. And you hardly ever heard them say the N-word. It was very, but as it progressed along, by the time you got to Tupac and Biggie and all these, you had them all saying it, every other word, to where it got to be annoying. But at the same time, I used to hang out with the guy with, all of our gang, and there was all different colors in it. People that I ran around with, and we'd sing all that stuff, and nobody cared. And it got to the point that, I think a lot of people, whites especially, thought when Obama got in office that, hey, it was going to be great. We finally got a black president. We can show the world that, we're over and done with all this stuff. And of course, we all know what happened there. But
because
it's gotten worse here lately with all this stuff, and you're right. This Carmelo Anthony and Metcalf thing is really. I live in the DFW area, so it is really turned things up. And I do think you're seeing that this thing with Shiloh, there's a backlash going on. And I really do hope that not just white people, like I said in the beginning. that blacks would start saying, okay, yeah, we've had enough of this stuff too. We've had enough of this stuff. Jasmine Crockett, oh my gosh. She didn't grow up like that.
No, she didn't.
But you know,
it's an act.
But you know how she acts now. Acts like she grew up in the streets and she grew up in the ghetto. Video yesterday, whatever, talking about how they need to, you know, pick up chairs and stuff. What kind of rhetoric is this?
But see, here's my thing, and I will say this to you, and thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
The people whom the market is for. When I mean market, it's like she's selling a product. Who's buying it? The black community. She's buying. She's putting out these vibes. She's the one putting out all this stuff, and it's biting. But I want to thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the call. That was Mac, y'all. That was Mac. I appreciate his phone call. All right. Let's go on and start heading to Rumble.